It takes a village to raise a child. What's good people? I hope you're well. I hope you're nice. Welcome to episode 17 of The Village Show with me, Chuck the Sound Sangoma. You already know what it is, man. Today I got another jam-packed show for you guys. You already know. On the video appreciation, we have Mr. Bao with a song called Fire. That's the video we're gonna be appreciating. And the music appreciation, we're gonna be appreciating Oxii Moron, with a song called Racing. And then on the topic of the week, we're gonna be talking about the state of sports in South Africa, and all the local government, pertaining to the theme of the World Cup. Staying on the same thing, or on the same theme. On our hustle, we're going to be talking about sports agency, being a sports agent or being a scout. You check what I mean, being a person who's going to be looking for talent. And on our Oxii superhero, we have another sports giant, Mr. Lucas Radebe. That's the guy we're going to be appreciating on our Oxii superhero. And on our trailer watch, we have a movie called Pearls of Wisdom from Showmax. That's the trailer we're going to be watching with you guys. Without any further ado, let's get to the show. As said, as promised, I told you we're going to be appreciating a music video from Mr. Brown. Mr. Bao Fire featuring Harmonize. It's a pretty cool music video. Without me speaking a lot, enjoy the music video. Let's go.
Não para, minha chuquinha mexe não para. O que vem a seguir é muito fogo, vamos levantar. Chifiguili, Bauito, filho do povo, ninguém se senta. Iguza, ei, mashitiva kutoba minenge. Mashitiva kukina mitoba minenge. Mashitiva kutoba minenge. Mashikiva kukina mitoba minenge. Lokukina kahle, mina takunyika nyika male. Wanitiba kahle, baby unga wari kwashin take. Banavela, baba nuna banavela, baba sade banavela. Kina nukubono, tukuta shitungu shinyosho. Tofikando loco, the way you make me loco. Chela gazeli. When I chill like gasoline, don't stop. Chill like gasoline, don't stop. When I chill like gasoline, don't stop. Chill like gasoline, don't stop. When I chill like gasoline, don't stop. Chill like gasoline, don't stop. When I chill like gasoline, don't stop. Moto, fire. Moto, fire. Moto, fire. She got the fire burning. In case you wonder why I'm running. Rest in peace, my girl, she got a bunny. She says she wanna chill with the good boy number one. Oh na. I saw so many girls, but you so different. I give you many money more when you bring your body to the dance hall. My sweetie, over me nenge. Kama umepanda dala, basi we shuka mwenge. My sweetie, over me nenge. Kama unakuja sala, basi we shuka mwenge. My sweetie, over me nenge. My sweetie, over me nenge. Mashitiva kukina mitova minenge.
right there with the song called Fire. Pretty dope music video right there, featuring Harmonize, you know what I mean? Some different kind of, you know what I mean, sounds coming from different countries. I think, Mr. Bao is from Mozambique. Very, very cool song. I really appreciate that music video, dope song. Go and please make sure that you engage with Mr. Bao Music. Subscribe to his YouTube page, Mr. Bao. Make sure that you go on Instagram and enjoy some of his content. Thank you. Cool. So again, on the topic of the week, this week we're gonna keep it light. We're gonna keep it simple. Thank you again for everybody who engaged from last week's topic, which was a rant. It got a lot of people rallied up. You check what I mean. Thank you again for engaging and making sure that we share what we feel like. So as I said, we're gonna be talking about the state of sports in South Africa. You check what I mean. Basically just how is sports in South Africa, looking at how, for example, our national team has been struggling to qualify for the World Cup, It's not all that bad, We have a very, very strong rugby team. But what I just wanted to talk about is just grassroots sports, in terms of, like, I was having a conversation with some guys during the week about sports and how South Africa can have very, very strong team if the sports scouting or the finding of the talent, is done to the core. You check what I mean? So that's all I wanted to talk about. So basically, like, how South African leagues, for example, sports leagues, are supported at very, very grassroots, starting at schools. I know that some schools are involved in some leagues, they're playing in some leagues, but there is schools where they only play sports for a season, not even a full season, like a couple of months, and there's nothing happening the whole year. You check what I mean? I feel like it should be brought back where each and every school, even if it's a school league, they're playing through a league for whatever sport. It can be netball for girls, volleyball, cricket, whatever sport that we can play in South Africa. I feel like it should be open for everybody everywhere to actually be able to play these sports. And I know that South Africa does well with especially with schools of excellence. There's a lot of talent that has come from the school of excellence, but it's not easy for everybody to find themselves in the school of excellence, And I feel like it's the job of, the scouts to actually go into these deep places where they can find people who really can play sports, and bring this talent out there. You check what I mean? So, for example, where I grew up, there was a guy called Chiro Maradze. He was just talented. Whenever it was time for us to do, school athletics and stuff like that, he would just go, he would excel in everyone. He would be number one in all of them. If he had a proper support and if he had people behind him and the channels were really open, he could have been he could have been representing South Africa at different places. But like I said, this is not for me just to come and say it's all bad. It's to appreciate, even the little that the government is doing at certain places where they actually making sure that the sports fields and stimulating sports at a very, very young age. It just has to broaden up. It just has to get to the places where even other people who can't have access. Because I feel like if we start including all South Africans, we can have a very strong team because there's a lot of people who are talented. In football, for example, teams have like the academy where they actually, grooming young players, who they're going to promote in some time to be playing in bigger teams. You check what I mean? Which is a good thing. Like I said, though, they can have a certain number of people. They can't have everybody. So there needs to be different channels where people can actually, find themselves getting into these sports avenues. In terms of the, governance of sports and everything else, such as organizations such as SAFA, organizations as the cricket board, the rugby board, there's always been politics and what goes on there because at the end of the day, there's some business that has to be handled when it comes to sport, but I feel like at a certain point, certain sports get, disappointed. If you look, for example, for boxing in South Africa, in the past years when I was growing up, boxing was big. We had a lot of boxers who were boxing internationally and they were champions, and I don't know what happened, if it's the fans or if it's anything, boxing was never a thing. It actually died. It was no longer televised, and I see now a lot of people are getting involved in that. But again, boxing as a sport was never getting the full support that it used to get, like what he used to get. Just like I was saying about school sports, where it's only happening in such a couple of months, where kids are not engaged the full year playing sports. And whenever that time comes where they have to compete provincially, they actually sometimes, competing with guys who are practicing every day, making sure that they do this every day. And that's why they always have a one up, not just because you're not talented, but you're just not disciplined enough to actually play the sports. And we should actually expose everybody to different sports. Like I said, basketball, volleyball. If I grew up knowing what basketball, I would have tried playing basketball. If there's certain sports that if I grew up knowing, I know there's a lot of people who would have succeeded. And I say this because I remember when I was home sometime, in the village, we were sitting outside and we were just talking about sports, and I was showing guys a video of basketball players and telling them how much they make and what is the sport. And there was a guy there who actually said, like, yo, if I had an opportunity to play this sport, this looks interesting, I could have played. And his body is built for that, and it made me think, like, for example, if he just had an opportunity, even if it's not, just knowing the sport and actually trying it out, different sports, because there's a lot of sporting codes out there that, needs to be filled, so we need to expose our youth, people who are young who still can be able to play sports at a bigger page, but at a bigger, spectrum, sports plays a very, very big role in our social economy and our social, just making sure that there is coherence in culture. When Kaizer Chiefs plays Orlando Pirates, that's a cultural momentous event. For example, the World Cup right now, there's more that goes on beyond just the football. When the World Cup is hosted in the country, the showcasing of the culture, the showcasing of the land itself, the tourism about around it. There's a really, really big economy about around it. So it's something that has to be respected and something that we have to really, really appreciate. Like I said, South African sport is not really that bad. There's really opportunities for people. All that needs to happen is it needs to broaden up so that, even the people who don't have, a chance right now can be reached, through scouting, through programs, government programs, school programs, so that they can be different leagues in different places and people can actually be able to reach those leagues. Right, cool. That's basically what it is for me when it comes to sports. On our song Appreciation, as I said, we're going to be playing a song by Oxii Moron called Racing. I saw this guy perform the other day and he performed this song. And yeah, I like the song. So without me speaking a lot, I'm going to play you the song. This is a song by Oxii Moron, Racing, featuring Apollo the Mortal.
She got my mind racing. Got my mind racing. She got my mind racing. Got my mind racing. I'm going in circles, all this fun has been hurting me. I might need surgery, but I got it just occurred to me. Girl, this is perjury, telling me all the pretty things that I really wanna hear. I know this certainly, just wanna get your voice on my goddamn ear, so I can focus a little. Quote, I've been trying to stay afloat in the middle. Don't be sentimental. Lost it in no basics, no trouble. And now it's all gone. Try to stay strong for so long. Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? raising hell, I left my problems in the dirt. Now my karma's getting hurt. She stay in my mind. I don't need her all the time. I just need myself, no, we can't blow up overnight. Left her on the shelf, I hold it down, I hold it tight. I sleep through the night, I don't need no lullaby. Ask her treat me right, yeah, I leave it on the line. My mind racing, got my mind racing. She got my mind racing. Got my mind racing.
Yo, that's Oxii Moron right there, featuring Apollo the Mortal with the song Racing. Very, very dope, chill song. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's got his own unique way of doing things. I saw him perform and I was caught by his performance. That's Oxii Moron. Please make sure that you engage with his music. Make sure that you go and subscribe to his YouTube page. Make sure that you go and follow him on Instagram, Twitter, and all of the social platforms. Right, on our what's the hustle this week? Keeping up with the theme of sports. I feel like this is one of those, hustles that it doesn't get a lot of limelight like a lot of hustle. Being a sports agent or actually being a sports scout. So basically what do you do if you're a sports scout, for example? So most of the time your job is to actually find talent. Most of your time is connecting the talent to teams. Let's say, for example, you're going to see matches in rural areas and rural stadiums and trying to find this raw talent. Your job is to actually see that talent and see if you can actually link that talent to a team. If you can find a superstar, for example, a cricket star, a rugby star, a soccer star, to be able to take to the teams. These are the people who are responsible for for unearthing talent. These are the people who actually goes and actually spend time watching talent, sometimes over and over again, to see some traits and understand the player they're trying to scout, and make sure that they meet the team. These are the players, the people who are negotiating sometimes even the contracts. Some people graduate from being just exposed from being a recruiter to actually being an agent. When you're an agent for a sports superstar, you speak for them, you find the best contract for them, you make sure that their well-being is taken care of. So that's a very, very lucrative business, because if you really find talent and you stay with the talent, you can actually, players are being sold for millions and millions of rands, and that's where you're going to actually get your percentage for finding this talent. So I feel like a lot of people, because of not knowing, they just don't understand how it's done, because I do believe that most people, where they're from or where they stay or where they have access, there's always some talent, and sometimes it just needs a person who have the connection to actually connect the talent to the team, and they can actually make money from that. It's a very, very good hustle, because you can have different types of talent, and you can actually grow that from just being a sports agent or a recruit to actually owning a sports management agency, where you actually manage all of these sports stars of different sports, and making sure that their contracts are right, making sure that they're getting sponsorships, and that's where you would actually get your cut. You check what I mean? So that's a very, very good hustle. And it's a socially good job, because you're gonna be serving people and making sure that talent gets unearthed while you're still getting and making your money in the long run. So that's basically being a sports agent there, or a recruiter. So basically your job is to actually just go and find talent and make sure that the teams can actually see this talent. Right. On our superhero, on our Kasi superhero, today you can tell that we on a sports mode. On our Kasi superhero, we have one of my biggest, I adore this guy, I respect this guy. Mr. Lucas Radebe is one of the greatest human beings that we have ever seen in South Africa. He played for Kaizer Chiefs and he went and played for Leeds United and actually became the captain of Leeds United. He's one of the most successful sportsmen in South Africa, if not Africa in the whole. And when we were growing up, Lucas Radebe was one of those guys that everybody wanted to be like. His discipline, he always just did what he was supposed to do, his sportsmanship, So from just being a sportsman to what he's doing now, being an ambassador for FIFA and actually going and helping with organizations like SOS and helping kids to actually get into playing sports and mentoring kids, that's very, very good. And he's still serving in his career and what he did for his country while playing for Bafana Bafana, representing South Africa in the UK. That's why today I take my hat off, to Mr. Lucas Radebe for everything. Here at the Village Show, we appreciate you as our Kasi superhero. Keep on doing what you're doing. It's all love from us, and make sure that, we give you flowers while you're still here. Cool. On our trailer watch this week, we have a trailer called Pearls of Wisdom. This is a story or a movie about a girl who has dreams of being in the entertainment industry. She was raised by a single mom. When she goes to school, she's facing challenges and she has to come face to face with her demons. You check what I mean? Because certain things in vanity and meeting a lot of people and, changing your lifestyles and trying to fit in. When I got sent this trailer, I kind of related to some of the things because a lot of people who move out from where they are going to somewhere else, especially pursuing a career, you go through some challenges and friends that would like you to do things that they are doing. But without me speaking a lot, let me play you the trailer. This is Pearls of Wisdom on Showmax.
Lalela mntanami. Noma kwenzakalani kule audition yakho yakusasa. Ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi ngiyayiqhenya.
Begin whenever you're ready.
You see the new girl.
I can't make the school!
It's like a jungle, isn't it? It's the middle one, Ivy.
You're so untrained. I was wondering if you could hang out after school.
This was the most romantic, most saddest, most beautiful love story I've ever read.
You're smart, talented, very, very beautiful.
If we were friends, you wouldn't be able to hang out with Stella as much.
Asangitele acting yakho usuyenza empilweni yakho.
But I showed you everything.
You know exactly what you did wrong.
Amazi futhi anginendaba.
Beautiful story right there, Pearls of Wisdom on Showmax. A story that touches on a lot of social issues that we deal with. Growing up without a dad, meeting new friends, being challenged and actually finding yourself, but at the same time, being peer pressured into doing certain things and feeling like you have to be a certain person for you to be accepted. So that's Pearls of Wisdom right there on Showmax. Please make sure that you go and stream it on Showmax. And thank you very much for watching the Village Show. This is episode 17. If you're still watching up to this point, got much love for you, and I'm wishing you a very, very, very beautiful and wonderful week ahead. Please make sure that you have subscribed. Please make sure that you share and follow us on all of our social platforms. With love from me, Check the Sound Sangoma. This is it. Thank you very much. Peace.